Oh my goodness, the cat just jumped up the wall. Hello, good day. I am back with a different type of video today, and it's about running. I am running the Boston Marathon. Yeah! Very exciting. On the 21st of April, and this will be my third marathon. I've run the London Marathon and the Berlin Marathon, and this is the third one on the road to doing all of the Abbott World Marathons. I'm very, very excited. This will be the first marathon that my parents and one of my sisters will be watching. Yeah! And I'll have them there to support me, which I'm really excited for. I'm very excited. This video is part of I guess it won't be a long series, a marathon prep series where I kind of just document how I'm doing, what I'm learning, because marathon training periods are always big learning periods. How my training's been going so far. There's times I don't want to go running in the morning. There's times my motivation is really lacking, but I'm doing well staying consistent. That's where it really helps me to have a goal in mind. In this case, it's just the Boston Marathon. Having a goal really helps me in training because you're not always going to be motivated every single day. You're not always going to want to go out for a run, especially in my case, if it's cold, rainy, icy, I don't want to go out. So that's where keeping my goals in mind is really, really helpful, and centralizing that is getting me through. Although I will say now that I've got into the rhythm of it a bit more, my motivation is increasing. I've never trained for a race over the winter period before. So this has been a new experience, running in the dark, in the cold. My hands, especially my hands, they always get freezing. I wear 2 pairs of gloves and they're always freezing. So that's something I've needed to adjust to. Hello. I just came back from a 45-minute recovery run in the snow. It was chucking it down with snow. I had my glasses on, so I felt like my fingers were windscreen wipers every 5 minutes. It was my first ever run in the snow, and it felt so nice and refreshing. I really didn't want to go on the run, but I'm now so happy. But thankfully the snow is that fresh snow where you're running or walking and you just feel that like crunch under your feet, which was so nice. And that also made me so happy. I was also wearing 2 pairs of socks. That was that. Recovery run done. Boston in like 14 and something weeks. Crazy. And after this week, I think there's only 10 weeks or so. No, that's a lie. There's 10, 11 weeks ago, which is crazy to think about. Very nerve-wracking. And I booked my flights to Boston last week, which I'm very, very excited for. So it's all getting like real. The runs are getting longer. The body's getting faster and stronger. The nights are getting earlier and longer. My long runs, I really do enjoy long runs. I've been listening to podcasts, audiobooks. Audible is a lifesaver. Hello, I just finished a 10-miler. My longest run since the Munich half marathon. My calves are so sore, but it felt good. I didn't think I would be at the pace I was, but surprisingly I was. So I think it was the rest day yesterday, a lot of food yesterday, and a lot of sleep pre-hand. So I'm going to stretch, I'm going to roll, I'm going to drink some electrolytes, I'm going to grab myself some quick fuel, and then I'm going to shower, and then I'm just going to lie down for a solid while. I've been trying out different new routes. I'm also going to be trying to implement, at the moment I do like loops, just depending on how long the run is, but I want to start running to a place and ending up at a coffee shop or somewhere where I can then also look forward to a treat, but mixing up the routes that I run definitely, definitely, definitely helps. So far, what have I learned? Fueling. This is something I always take a bit of time to adjusting to when I start a training phase, because I underestimate how much fuel my body needs. I slept like shit, which in all honesty I think was because I haven't been fueling myself properly. I always forget that as mileage increases, obviously you need more fuel, but my hunger cues can't seem to keep up with that. So I don't necessarily feel like the generic hunger cues, but obviously I'm needing to eat more. So I slept like shit, I kept on waking up, and then I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was so hungry, so I had a midnight snack or a 2 a.m. snack, and then went straight back to sleep. So I'm making a mental note to fuel myself more throughout the day, especially on days like today when I'm, you know, I've got a lot on. I just kind of think, oh, I need to eat like, I don't know, a little bit more, but I underestimate how much more and how frequent my body needs fuel, especially on days off. In fact, on some rest days, I am hungrier than on training days, especially the days after long runs. So something I've been trying to implement more is more frequent snacking and more meals, because for me, increasing the size of a meal doesn't necessarily help. My stomach isn't very big, I guess, so I do better with more frequent meals than like one humongous meal. So that's definitely something I've been learning, trying to implement. I feel like I always need a pre-bed snack. I've been trying to add more carbs because obviously those glycogen stores need to be filled up. So I've been having much more pasta, sandwiches, toasts. My go-to breakfasts have been overnight oats, and cereal. Those have been my go-to meals, and those have also been the meals that are quick and easy and yummy, and you can add a lot of variety to them. I try and have it as varied as possible with lots of colours and fruit and veg as well to keep my body and immune system healthy. Especially this week, it's the germs have been germing and I've caught a cold, so trying to keep all of those fruits and veggies in. Then also fueling pre and post run. I never ever run completely fasted. I just know it doesn't work very well for my body, and keeping a normal level of hunger afterwards. And after a run, even though a lot of times I'm not hungry, I always make sure to at least have a smoothie or a bar or a Trek bar. I love Trek bars. Something along those lines to tide me over until I actually start getting hunger cues. And electrolytes. I've been drinking a lot of electrolytes, day in and day out. Not too many, obviously. I'm not overdosing. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I do have at least one electrolyte drink a day. Make sure my body's uptaking as many vitamins and minerals as possible, not only from the electrolytes, but also from my food and my water intake. Just keeping myself hydrated. That, in terms of fueling, that's what I've been focusing on. I'm yet to start fueling during runs, which I will probably start doing from next week, because that's when I start hitting, runs over 90 minutes. At the moment, I'm still under a point where I feel like I need to fuel, although it's something I should be implementing anyways to get used to fueling during runs and, all that shebang. In terms of how my training's going, at the moment I'm doing one long run a week, 3-ish recovery runs, 1 speed interval tempo run along those lines, and then usually also 1 or 2 yoga classes, Pilates classes a week, just to also make sure that I'm got a bit of variety in my training to minimize the likelihood of getting an injury, keeping my body strong, making sure my legs also get a bit of variety in the movement that they're doing. Pilates and yoga has definitely been helping there. Hello, good afternoon. I come to you today on a 2 training day. I did a recovery run in the morning, 45 minutes, which actually felt very good and very refreshing. And I'm going to a spin class in a moment, and I'm very excited because dark room, loud music, what more could you want? And yeah, in terms of stretching and rolling, after my long runs, I'm quite good. It's my recovery runs, after which I don't always stretch as deeply and roll out as deeply as I maybe want to. So that's something I'm trying to prioritize and do. And then sleep. Oh my goodness. This week I've been a bit sleep deprived. During the week it's quite difficult for me. I'm an early bird, but then also after work, if I want to do something, it just kind of goes into the night a little bit, but then I need to be up to be doing my training and go into the office, especially because I notice a big difference in myself if I get a full night's sleep or not. A marathon training cycle doesn't necessarily mean you have to miss out on things, but you really do sometimes have to put your priorities into focus and realize what your priority is. I'm not out clubbing, I'm not out partying, because to me, at this point in time, my sleep, the health of my body, the health of my mind, and rest is much, much more important to me at the moment than those activities, which does not necessarily mean you miss out on seeing people. You just need to, make clear that your priorities at the moment have shifted slightly, or maybe not even just at the moment, your priorities in general have shifted. And then, if those people are important to you and you're important to them, you can work around that. But you will be the boring friend for a few months, which is fine, because at the end of the day, you get to run a marathon and you get to learn about yourself and achieve new goals. Otherwise, I had a run this week in which I tried to hit a 5k PB. I did not. Hello, I come to you with my Adele cup and my electrolytes. I just tried to hit a 5k PB and it did not happen. I was like, my current PB is like 19:42. So I was nearly a solid 30 seconds over. But it's okay, I gave my best. And in all honesty, two things. In all honesty, I saw myself hitting a PB. I went into it visualizing hitting that PB, but here we are. And on the flip side, my nose has been running the past 2 days. I woke up definitely not rested enough and not slept through enough. So was I realistically going to hit it? I could have, but I am determined though to hit my PB in the next month or so, and I will. Mark my words. So I am still really happy though, because I tried my best, I tried hard, I ran. The fact that I didn't hit my PB wasn't as disheartening as I thought it would be, because I was able to, surprisingly, take a step back and view it from a point of, maybe it wasn't the right time. This gives me another smaller goal to focus on the route to the marathon training or the marathon goal finish line. I've got in the back of my mind a time I want to hit in the Boston Marathon, and if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but it's also not the end of the world. And that's just something I need to get more comfortable with. So really, me not hitting that PB was good, and I'm kind of happy it didn't happen, especially because I got to treat myself to some Paloma wool clothes afterwards. In fact, to cheer me up a little bit, I'm now going to put through a Paloma wool order, which I've been putting off for a while, and I told myself, oh, if I hit my PB, I can reward myself with the order. But now, as reconciliation, I'm going to reward myself with the Paloma wool order. That was just a big word dump of how my training's been going so far. But so far, so good. I'm very excited for the race. Yeah! I can't believe that I'm running the Boston Marathon. Like, what? That is so exciting. So, yeah. If anyone out there who's watching this is also running the Boston Marathon, I will see you at the start line in 3.5 months. What? No, 2.5 months. 2.5 months. What? That's crazy. Also, just to anyone else out there marathon training, whether it's your first time or your 50th time, if it's your 50th time, I am incredibly impressed. Whether it's your first time or you've run marathons before, it's such a fun journey, a very hard, confusing journey sometimes, and sometimes you will find yourself thinking, why am I doing this? But it is worth it in the end. There's nothing like the feeling of finishing a race and being proud of yourself and how far you've come and the journey. So just remember that. I believe in you. You can do it. Drücking my Daumen for you. Anyways, I will see you next week with another video, and I will keep you updated on my marathon training. Best wishes. Goodbye.